having to use technology each day. You send text messages at work all day, you use power tools at work. Those are prime examples of technology that's used constantly. Computers.
Mixes.
Yeah. My name's Abby. I'm one of the registered nurses here at Christus and Tyler. Today I wanted to talk about the advancements of technology used in modern medicine and how those technologies has been able to improve patient care, and as well as shown improvement in patient outcomes. So the first thing we'll talk about is advancement in the technology in healthcare. There's an article posted by Balabri, Junad, and others, posted by the National Library of Medicine on October 3rd of 22 that says the successful alliance of AI and healthcare has morphed into improved patient healthcare in areas ranging from hospital productivity and patient safety to quality medical treatment. AI as a tool and or technology is used to analyze, visualize patient data for adequate healthcare administration. So AI charting systems is a great example of that. Allergic reactions, everybody has those. With those AI charting systems, you're able to see allergic reactions on certain patients' charts. So when physicians are putting in medication orders, they're able to flag medications that are contraindicated with those. So it's a great patient safety deal that's able to keep patients safe as well as make sure that they're getting adequate treatment with the right medications. Another thing posted by National Library of Medicine and written by Ginhara Manhara on August 4th of 23, the development of wearable health monitoring technology has completely revolutionized how people track and manage their health. These devices capture data that can be analyzed to find trends and patterns that can provide important information about a person's general health and well-being. So a great example of that would be heart monitors. I know that you've had one of those. These help to observe patients without being invasive and having to do major surgeries. Physicians are able to gather data and create a treatment plan that's tailored to each individual patient, as well as lead them in the right path to better their health. Another example of monitoring is a smartwatch. I have one. These are able to also monitor your heart, but it can even watch your oxygen saturation. So those patients are also super, lucky to have those too. And just get you up and going with your health, because I'm always getting the hey, you can still do it on my activity deal to get you excited about exercising and bettering your health. So now that we've talked about the advancements of technology, let's look at the overall purpose of using technology in healthcare. It's not only important for patient safety, but also important for the improvement of further development in healthcare. An article posted by the Health Information Technology written by Maxwell E. Jin and others on June 20th of 23 stated, though not a cure-all, HIT or Health Information Technology is thought to decrease costs via all the methods described, increased operational efficiencies, improved patient safety, and better chronic disease management. So the cost of healthcare rises with each year. Up front, those technological costs to the hospital are costly, but overall they're decreased by being able to use those consistently, to also foresee diagnosis faster with new imaging such as MRIs, CAT scans, x-rays. All of this new technology is able to help quicken the pace of diagnosing patients to better their overall health. Another example is the electronic medical record systems, or the EMRs. Those can decrease adverse events for patients, as well as the charting systems are linked That way, if they're from one hospital or another, they're able to all see all of those things. And hospitals can go back and forth, say, hey, we had them not too long ago. Let me show you what they had, and vice versa. Now that I've talked about that, let's discuss how technology has helped improve patient outcomes overall and those procedures that are able to be completed with those. Amanda Ford, published by Central Kentucky Radiology on March 12th of 24, stated in an article that cardiology benefits immensely from fluoroscopic imaging, especially in executing complex procedures like cardiac catheterizations, enhancing the treatment of cardiovascular disease. So one of the things that is the biggest right now that personally I know about is fluoroscopic imaging. I work in the radiology department at the hospital, so this is a big deal that I can personalize with y'all about. One of the biggest things that we see at our hospital is patients that come in for heart attacks or a STEMI. These patients are a prime candidate for what we call a cardiac catheterization. Basically, what this is the physician that is well-versed and trained will use a live x-ray machine. So this patient is sedated on a table with proper medical staff. They're sterilely draped. The patient is kind of out of it, kind of not. The physician will make an insertion into the artery in the groin. They'll use a specialized catheter, kind of like an IV, but it goes into that big artery there. They use wires and contrast dye, which is able to light up on that live x-ray machine and get all the way up into the vessels and valves in your heart. From there, they're able to see your blood flow, how your valves work, if there's any blockaging or narrowing that's causing those heart attacks. And then from there, they can minimally fix that from the inside out. This procedure is performed daily at the hospital that I work at and saves hundreds of thousands of lives every year across the world. Recovery time for these patients actually can come in as an outpatient to have a cardiac catheterization done. Sometimes their recovery period is a day. It depends on what the doctor sees when they're in the heart on whether they think maybe an open heart surgery is better. If that's the case, that recovery time is typically longer and they kind of make a little sleepover at the hospital. In addition to that article that Amanda Ford wrote, she also mentioned that fluoroscopy's role in guiding instruments like catheters in the body is unparalleled, facilitating procedures such as angioplasties and stenting with remarkable accuracy. Another example that I work with day in and day out is a procedure called a thrombectomy. So those patients who come in having a stroke, for example, strokes can be all different ways, but the way this procedure kind of pertains to that is when you have a blood clot that is lodged into one of the main arteries or vessels into your brain. That's preventing blood flow into that spot, which is causing the facial droop or the numbness and tingling on a certain side, or you're not able to speak clearly and you're slurred. This procedure is very similar to the cardiac catheterization I talked about previously. One of our specialized physicians will make the exact same puncture at the femoral artery in your groin. They use the same x-ray table. It's a fluoroscopic table, but they use the wires and contrast dye specialized for the neuro part. So these wires are able to go into your brain safely, efficiently, without rupturing anything else. Once they get into that spot that's blocked in that brain, they can see it because there's no more blood flow to the backside of it. From there, they use a specialized catheter that has a suction device at the very end of it. And if you think, oh, just a catheter with a suction, I mean, it's 0.5 millimeter big. So it's a very crazy form of technology, even if it's not screens and messages and things that. So it's another form of technology. But once they get up into that point where that blockage is, they're able to turn that section on and suck that clot out to get reperfusion back into the brain where it was occluded. These patients, I've seen multiple that I come in and they're not able to talk, they're not able to move their arm, and once we get that clot out, they're able to speak freely, and they're like, oh my gosh, what has happened? And so it's an amazing thing as a nurse to see these patients are so scared and they're like, oh my gosh, what is going on? To, oh, you'll fix me, thank you. So these recovery times, though, are a little bit more lengthy. Not everybody is that way. Sometimes they have a little bit longer recovery time. They're often transferred to the ICU department where they're closely monitored, and other tests can be performed, such as an MRI or a repeat CAT scan or things like that, or a swallow study. That way they're safely, they're safe enough to adequately be discharged. But the use of fluoroscopic imaging has advanced procedures dramatically, and it's better. The overall health of patients has been it's unfathomable. They're able to move on every day at a faster pace to move on with their families and their friends and better their overall health and think, you know what, I'm going to get better about this. So I've kind of discussed the technology in modern medicine, the purpose of it, and the benefit not only to the patients but also to the physicians and the other medical staff, including myself. And remember my question when I asked how often do you use technology? Whether you're sending an email or sending a text or using a power tool, not only is that used in everyday life, but it's also used to save patients' lives every single day. Thank y'all.